and I want to talk about this Jamie Foxx situation. So Jamie Foxx got his 31-year-old girlfriend pregnant, and the internet immediately started side-eyeing this whole situation. So it's not just because Jamie is nearly 60 years old, he's 58, but because people are pointing out the age gap, his dating history, and his past comments about white women. So let's just go ahead and talk about why this became such a big conversation online. So one of the biggest things that people notice is that Jamie constantly dated white women over the years. His current girlfriend, Alice, I believe her name is, she is white, and people pointed out that the mothers of his other children are white as well. He has three baby mothers, and all three of them, including this one, is white. So for many people online, this doesn't feel surprising. It really just feels like it's constant with him, his dating history, and because of this pattern, it has been so visible over the years. People started revisiting old comments that Jamie made during his Netflix special that he just had. During the special, Jamie made comments about being done with white women. He was on the piano. He was like, and I'm down with white women. Like, this is no more. In a room full of all people, but it was for black people. Now that he's expecting a child with a younger white girlfriend, people are looking back at those comments completely different. That's where the hypocrisy conversation comes in for some viewers because people feel like celebrities sometimes say things that sound good to black audiences while their real life choices tell a different story. And online, a lot of people basically are saying if that's your preference, just stand in it. That's something that a lot of people have been saying lately, specifically when it comes to people like Michael B. Jordan, and then also I forget the other guy name. He's with Megan Good. Like y'all have these white girlfriends. Y'all do this very pro black stuff in real life, and then y'all have these like black girlfriends, and I mean y'all have these white girlfriends secretly, but y'all hide them. We don't know about Michael B. Jordan, but it's been rumored online that he likes white women, which is fine. If you like white women, you like white women. But it's just like, why is it that you hide your white girlfriend, but when it comes to your black girlfriend, everybody has to know about it. You don't actually want to date this black girl. You just want the cultural moment of like, oh my gosh, she loves a sister. And I do feel like it is a little bit on black people to stop pumping their heads up whenever they are with a black girl. If you are with a black girl, you just kind of are with a black girl. Just kind of let it be that. But I do notice that a lot where it's just kind of like, I'm out and about with this black. Just kind of like with what is that man's name? I forget his name. He's so irrelevant to me. But yeah, with Meghan Markle, like he not Megan Good. He had her, all around. That was his Coretta Scott King while he's actively battling the case with this white woman saying that he put his hands on her allegedly. You know, like, girl, making good. Come on, you were clearly his stand-in negress. Just to show like I love the sisters. This white girl was just a one-off. But anyways, so with Jamie Foxx, the other major topic with this was the age gap. So 31 years old is grown, but people are still going to talk when someone that's close to 60 years old is having a baby with someone that's over 20 years younger than them. And especially when she's around the same age as one of his daughters. Also, that's why so many people started bringing up on like a viral TikTok video saying that men over 50 should stop having children, things like that. Whether people agree with it or not, it definitely sparked a conversation about older celebrities continuing to start new families later in life. Nick Cannon isn't that old, but he is definitely one. You have too many kids. You have too many kids. And I'm not gonna say this because, well, I can't say it. Something about Nick Cannon is nefarious to me. I don't know why he's having so many kids, but it just is so nefarious. Like, is there a reason? He's had tragedy when it comes to him having kids. So instead of just pulling your kids that you have very close and just being like, oh my gosh, like, oh, I love you guys, you just keep making new kids. Like, come on, some like he's just not right in the head. But anyways, so people online started making jokes about his lyrics. One of the things was like, "How come I always fall for your type?" And he was like, "I just can't leave these girls alone." Now we didn't know what type he was talking about, but clearly it was white women. Um, But at the end of the day, Jamie Foxx, he is very, very grown. His girlfriend is grown, and they can live however they want to, live. They will, But when you're a celebrity, people are going to pay attention to your patterns, your public comments, and whether your actions match what you're actually saying publicly. So for a lot of people, this conversation became bigger than just one celebrity pregnancy announcement. It turned into a discussion about age gaps, public image, dating patterns, and really just authenticity. Jamie Foxx, for me, a lot of people know him as an actor. I know him as an R&B singer. He will always be an R&B singer to me because his music is just so good. But I do notice that, like, as you get older, um, I feel like with the way that the world is changing, we're just gonna see a lot of our celebrities that we used to like hold near and dear, and just be like, oh my gosh, I just love this person, because of like their how they go about music and like how they act and stuff like that, like what we love them in or what we love them for. But it's just kind of gonna be like I have to just love you for the art that you gave, the media that you gave, and then that's it. Like I don't think that it's necessarily a parasocial relationship, but I do think that it is like you kind of have to back up off celebrities because they will just embarrass themselves every single time, like constantly they will show that what they what you love them for is just not who they are in reality, or they just change so much, but just let me know what y'all think. Are people doing too much, or are they calling out something that's been very obvious for years? All right.